Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So just recently, Bishop T.D. Jakes had a sermon that he dropped that he said some very profound things. Now, I'm going to play a clip after this, and I want you guys to just listen to it if you haven't already. But this is just a short clip from what he said from his larger sermon. And like I said, I just want you guys to look at it, and then I'm going to talk about some things, like I said, very profound, that I think needed to be said, whether whoever didn't want to hear it or not.
If Adam had not allowed Eve to pour into him, sin would have never come into the world. Sin came into the world because Adam broke the order. We were not designed to receive from women. Your self-esteem is compromised when you have to ask your wife for lunch money. I'm not saying you got to be rich. I'm not saying you got to be famous. I'm saying that you have got to be the one who pours in, not the one who takes out. When Adam started eating out of his wife's hand, sin came in because the divine order was broken. This breaks all sociological orders of the culture we're living in now, because we are raising up women to be men. And you are not applauded for your femininity. You are applauded in the contemporary society by how tough, rough, nasty, mean, aggressive, hateful, possessive you are, and you are climbing the corporate ladder, but we are losing our families. I know you can buy your own car. I know you can buy your own house. But until you create a need that I can pour into, I have no place in your life. So stop coming home bragging to me about how much you don't need me and wonder why I shy away. Oh, y'all ain't gonna talk back to me this morning. The conversation has become, let's prove to the men how dispensable they are. And it is born out of pain because we hurt you and betrayed you and lied to you and cheated to you. And you became like you became out of pain. Oh, Lord, I told you they wasn't gonna like this, Jesus.
Now, this video addresses something that I was actually speaking to my mother about just the other day. I was telling her how on TikTok, not on TikTok, on Twitter, I saw this post where there was a young lady who had said, you know, I think that some of our mothers, grandmothers, aunts, they might have messed us over, because back in the day, let's just start from there. Back in the day, before women started going into the workforce because of the wars and men having to go and enlist into the army, you know, the women were the only ones left to work. Women were housewives. They didn't work, and even before that, couldn't even own land. They had no money, had to depend on their husbands to take care of them. The men went out to work. That was how things were. But anyways, in some of those households, you know, there were some men, they were very good men, they were strong men, they were men, and they took care of their families with pride, and, you know, they didn't mind going to work. They loved to go to work and come home and, you know, love on their families and provide for their families. That's what it was. And then you had some that they were abusive. Some of these women, they had nowhere to go. Their families handed them over to these men, and they were saying, you got to have your own family now, you got to have your own kids. You know, take care of your husband, you know, make sure that you cook for him, you clean, you be good. And they did that, and they were abused by their husband. And of course, like I said, they had nowhere to go. They couldn't leave because they didn't own anything. They didn't have any money. They didn't have a job. So they were stuck. And so a lot of these women, whenever they had children and grandchildren, they were like, oh, you don't want to get married. No, don't do that. Like, you need to be a strong, you know, independent black woman. So you don't, and I feel like yes, we need to be careful and make sure we don't get involved with people, not just, the women getting involved with the men, but there are some men who have gotten involved with some women who are horrible. But we need to, and of course, we need to make sure that we don't get involved with somebody who's going to take advantage of us and hurt us. But I feel like, some of these people, some of these women have scared their, daughters and granddaughters to the far extreme, which is we don't want any men over here because they're just going to once we get into a relationship with us and they know we can't go anywhere and that we have to stay with them, they're going to cheat on us. They're going to beat us. They're going to abuse us. They're going to hurt our kids. Not all men are like that. Now, of course, some women picked up the whole, I'm just going to be a strong, independent black woman. I don't need no man because they got some of their own issues that they need to resolve. But other women, as he so eloquently put in his sermon, they have been abused. Like, he kept it 100% real. They have been abused by men and they are afraid. I think deep down inside, they might come off as this mean, angry, strong-willed, but I feel like they are afraid because they think that if they get into a relationship with somebody, they become vulnerable, they fall in love, or they become somewhat dependent in the slightest, that is going to be used against them. And it is unfortunate to say that it happens. It unfortunately happens. It is what happens in life. It happens to men. It happens to women. It happens. But that does not mean that we allow our trauma. This is the point that I'm making. We don't let our trauma make us go to the extreme. There has to be balance. Okay. Yes. Like I said, keep in mind, get involved with people who you can trust, who can, be vetted, so to speak, and that aren't going to take advantage of you and hurt you whenever you get involved with them. At the same time, you don't want to just keep to yourself and just shut everybody out because you're afraid of being hurt again. That is not a way to live your life. You cannot do that to yourself. And like I said, it's not just the women. Some of these men have been abused by women and they feel like that there are no good women in this world. Some of these men, it started with their mothers. Their mothers abused them. They're like, well, look, if this is how women are gonna be, I don't know if I really want to be, and it's like we have to be vigilant, y'all. We have to be vigilant and not let our trauma get better of us. And I'm not saying that it's easy, because it's not. Like, go to counseling if that's what you need. Don't just talk about it though. Like, get some tips on how to help and be better, and go to church. Go to church, man. Pray, get a relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? Like, people want to leave that on the back burner, but look at where that's gotten us. I just have to say that. Look at where that's gotten us. Anyways, I do like how he addressed what he addressed, and like I said, it's just a short snippet of a larger sermon. So please, let's not take it out of context and then run with what we've taken out of context. And like I said, I feel like he's calling for both men and women to be accountable, for mothers and fathers, daughters and sons to be accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing that I do feel like, Bishop T.D. Jakes has, done for the most part, and I could be wrong because I haven't heard every single last one of his sermons, but he's never been one of those type of preachers who have placed all of the blame on one person or one group. And I feel like in this sermon, he's, like I said, I could be wrong, but he's calling everybody to action. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's saying he's addressing the problem. We have been praised for the whole, strong, independent black woman that don't need nobody. But that is so toxic. And we need to go put it back where we found it. And that's in the trash, because it's garbage. When you really think about it, we all need each other. Men need women and women need men, because we're all in this together. And we work better when we're working together and not at each other's throats. Like, that's what we really need to I think that's what we really need to come to grips with. We need each other. Like, I feel like a lot of people like to say, oh no, y'all need us. No, y'all need us. No, we need each other. We're going to always need each other. And it's not going to help us if we're always at each other's throats. And I like how he even went all the way back to Adam and Eve, because I feel like a lot of times that has been a bashing point. Like, a lot of people have taken that and say, oh, well, yeah, you women are the reason why. And it's like, no, there was 2 people in that garden. 2 people made bad decisions, okay? And I feel like black people, one thing we've got real good that we know how to do is not take accountability for our own actions and blame other people, which is something that we need to address. And it's something that we need to stop. We've been needed to stop, because it's causing a further divide. But the main point that I want to drive home here is that he said what he said. It's the truth that needed to be said. And now we need to go up from there. We need to figure out how we can fix it. And we need to implement ways of fixing it. And let's please, again, not misconstrue what he said. Like, he's not taking no sides. This ain't no gender war. That's stupid. And we need to put that to rest so that we can fix our community. And let's not, like I said, let's not make it about gender. You know what I'm saying? Let's not say, oh, yeah, he's talking about you women, because at the same time, he said it's because a lot of men have been abusive that women have resorted to trying to be independent and just do everything by themselves. I'm not saying that that's all men, and I'm not saying that that's the reason that all women have resorted to that, but it has a lot to do with that. And like I said, I feel like he's calling us all to action. He's addressing all points. He's saying that this is a us problem and that we need to fix it. You know, and he might not have said exactly we need to fix it, but we need to fix it. We've been needed to fix it. And like I said, let's not misconstrue what he said and turn it into a gender war, because I get so sick and tired of seeing that on the internet. Like, and all we do is make ourselves look stupid, especially to other people when we do that, make everything out of a gender war. But I feel like he said it in the most eloquent and respectful way that he could possible, without trying to cause a further divide. Unless you want to divide yourself, there's no way you can take away from that and be like, oh yeah, Bishop T.D. Jakes is trying to start something. Because no, he's not. He's trying to help. He's trying to help. That's what he's trying to do. But anyways, y'all tell me what y'all think down in the comments below.